Good afternoon, or at least by the time this video goes up. Hello. Salutations. My name is the Weaver of Fate. I'm a Twitch streamer, and I guess content creator now that I'm posting a bit more video-esque type stuff. I've been doing this for a couple of months now, and something I just wanted to do now is kind of calculate, or at least articulate, my thoughts on a couple of things about my life experiences. Something just to help and throw out there, similar to like my Monologue Mondays. Now, why a video essay? Well, I grew up watching them. One of my favorite ones was hearing the familiar voice of, he's a small content creator, you might heard of him, Jerma. He did TF2 videos a lot, and he'd always start by saying, "Welcome to a gameplay commentary, and tonight," and he'd go into the topic, and it was relaxing. Premium second tier monitor stuff of just listening to this as you're doing a task. Now, as I'm saying these various topics and stuff, I'm in no way a professional. Hell, I haven't even spent the $25 to gain a guru title in the mail, so I'm just your average individual who wandered through life. And through the bruises and the heartbreaks and the tough times, I think I've gained a little bit of wisdom that I want to impart on people. But still, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Trust me when I say it's not that deep. However, I've always believed in the idea of growing. And this first one hits really close to home with me. The topic is entitlement. And even though you might believe you're owed something, this might be a bit of a peek behind the curtain, but entitlement kills ambition. And with that, let's get right into the topic. So, entitlement kills ambition. Now, I want to be forward with the kind of parameters that I'm using. Entitlement that I am kind of using for this is an unhealthy feeling of achievement, even if it is earned. Because I do believe that you could do a lot of things right, feel entitled to a result, and still that can hamper your growth. So, with that kind of out of the way, let me get into the meat and potatoes of this. Having a feeling of entitlement itself, I don't believe is wrong, but an unhealthy amount of it, that is what hinders your future. And the best way to explain this, I believe, is explain my lived experience with it. You see, when I was in high school, I was taught to always do your best, no matter what you're doing. Whether that be math, science, band, choir. Even if you don't like doing it, if you signed up for it, you do your 100% best. Because people are counting on you. And the last thing that you want to do is waste people's time. Now, because I went to a small school, I would say I had the privilege to do everything. Football, basketball, track, theater, choir, show choir, band. You name it, I was probably in it because I could do it. Everything I did, I tried, and I gave it my all. And a part of me believed that others were doing the same. Now, as my high school career continued, about my sophomore year, it started to dawn on me that some people just did it to waste time. They had extra time on their hands, and they did something because it's fun to them, and that's it. They didn't take it seriously. They just did it kind of like a hobby. And that, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that that is a bad thing. However, when it came to competitive sports, such as basketball in particular, there were definitely some individuals that really did not do the best for the team. And still to this day, rubs me the wrong way. But with that slight tangent out of the way. Now, with the ability to be able to do everything, I want to preface this that is a very fast way to burn yourself out. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying you should do everything all the time, no matter what. It's okay to rest, it's okay to relax. But if you're going to do something, do it at 100%. Now, during high school, as the years progressed, kind of a feeling of entitlement crept in when it came to results. And sometimes they were followed through. Some teachers would reward good behavior and, being able to get ahead of kind of my peers with, extra work or college courses. So that was just a interesting experience when it came to my, I guess, earned entitlement, so to speak. And this feeling followed me into college. However, from there, it just got worse. I got into college with academic grants, and it made it rather affordable. And even then, I noticed people who were wasting it. They were at college, paying for the full tuition, but not showing up to classes. Sometimes to sleep in, sometimes to go shopping, sometimes to even just not go to class. And that didn't click for me. It just never really set in of why someone would waste that much money or waste that much potential. And that's where I learned that life is unforgiving and tough. And that's where kind of the first disconnect of entitlement kind of set in for me. Because you can't expect everything to work out while not putting in the work. At least in my experience. I saw some people just drop out after a year or two. And that's hundreds of thousands of dollars just gone. At least I guess in this case tens of thousands now that I think about it. But still, that's just tens of thousands of dollars wasted. And I guess it just sucks. But you have to show up if you're going to be trying to earn something like that. Now, my personal experience with that is if you don't show up, then you will not grow. And even then, it's not promised. Because I showed up and I did the best that I could, and it still technically didn't work out for me in the way that I thought. You see, I did the best that I could. At the end of my 4 years of college, my main door that I was trying to chase, my dream, or at least my goal, was to get into law school. And that door closed. I plan on going to law school, but there is this thing called the LSAT, the law school admissions test, basically. And what you do is that you take a test and you get scored from, I want to say it's like 120 to 180. 180, you're a genius among geniuses. 170, really impressive. 160, impressive. 150, okay, you're middle of the pack. Anything below that, not ideal. I tested for hours, and I took it twice. I did practice tests, and in all these practice tests, I would get 160s, 165s, I think was my highest. And whenever I did the real thing, I'd bomb them. I'd get 145. I think the best one I got was 149 of the two that I did. The main goal that I was working for 4 years, and I really tried. I really gave it my all. And it just didn't come to fruition. But what really upset me was my classmates. Classmates who didn't show up in class, who didn't worry about the assignments, who begged for extensions, who just didn't do the work, or if when they did it with half intent. Those who didn't practice, who didn't worry about what the teachers or professors were telling them. Those who didn't show up, they did better than me. Hell, one of them is a lawyer for Washington, D.C. right now. And that still slightly hurts me. But at the time, it wrecked me for months. I felt entitled to my future because I worked for it for 4 years of high school and 4 years in college. I was ready for another 3 years. I was ready to knuckle down and become a lawyer. But instead, I got the opportunity to learn a fundamental truth of life. That you are not entitled to anything. No matter how much work that you put in, it can go wrong. But I learned something even after that. Everything is yours if you try for it. Sure, I didn't get into law school. So, I took a different door that I had. An opportunity opened up, and I moved hundreds of miles away from my family. And I got a job within the law field. It's within litigation support, and I am self-employed. The first job out of college, my first big boy job, I'm self-employed. And now, if you told me that when I was in high school, I would say you're crazy. But I'm able to decide if I work the next week or not. I pretty much decide the days that I work, and they could be last minute. I'm paid well. I like the job that I have now, and even better, it allows me to follow this dream of content creation, of being a fool on the internet, and to impart what little wisdom I have. So, even if you think that you're entitled to a goal and that goal doesn't come to fruition, I have good news for you. Fate isn't written. It's for you to decide. Sure, you might be working towards a goal. Sure, it'll hurt like hell when you don't get it. But you never know how much better it can get. All you have to do is just not give up. And that's where ambition comes in. As long as you can keep that drive, keep that feeling of ambition, or that duty of ambition, then I promise you can go far. I promise that. And entitlement kills ambition. The feeling of, I deserve this. Why doesn't someone give it to me? Why doesn't life give it to me? That will wreck you. And that will stall you and stop your growth. So, in conclusion to this video essay, don't let your goals feel, how should I say, don't let your goals be the end of it all. They'll have to change, because life changes around us all the time. Is it fair? No, not at all. But as long as you can pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep your eyes on the end result of getting better, then you'll do great things. Thank you for listening to my first ramblings. I promise I'll get better at this. Ideally. But thank you. With that, I hope you have a good rest of your day. And may fate smile upon you. Thank you. Have a good night.